It's Friday, let's see what's happening in the crazy world of Marvel Contest of Champions. So it's been a somewhat busy 24 to 48 hours with Battlegrounds Season 27 changes, balance updates to Scream and Jack-O-Lantern, the fallout from the Nightmare Raid situation. There's actually been a fair amount of things that have been happening in and around the game, but there's been some interesting talking points by you, the community, and sentiment around certain areas, and the usual thing when it comes to the current state of the game, that of course has been, well, bugbears, frustrations, and other stuff like that. Let's break down these topics into different areas. So let's get into the more meatier of topics. I was going to cover two little micro stories, but to be honest, they're kind of, well, not really relevant to anything except for one specific player having that particular issue. So let's get into modders in Gladiators Circuit. Modders in general in Battlegrounds. This was weird, right? Players being blocked out here, so we can't really kind of give you who the name is. But apparently this is a very extensive repeat offender. To what kind of degree are we talking here for this? Well, of course, many. It was a Karnak. Yep. Karnak wins in 7 seconds. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. 7 seconds. One hit though. One hit does all the damage. Not sussy? Jokes. Of course it is. Of course it is incredibly sussy, isn't it? To kind of like do that. Karnak does kind of like do what Karnak does. I never understand these modders. What's the point of playing the game if you don't actually want to play? Also, because your account will be banned, like, well, what's the point as well? Kabam will be onto it. And Kabam Crash was onto it. Unfortunately, this person cheated in a lot of games very quickly. When he says games, like Kabam track this particular person over various different other like IPs, game IPs. No. I think they're probably referring to like fights, like yeah, sequences of like battles. Like this person, another person, win. I just checked, and the systematic anti-cheat has already permanently banned them. So yeah, this is kind of I want to say repeat, maybe it's a repeat offender or anything, but at least they were kind of like picked up quite quickly by the anti-cheat system. Makes no odds to this particular person behind who's doing this, because do you know what? They're going to jump in another account and do exactly the same thing. Whether or not Kabam at some stage will be able to ban by IP address, but I think that's a very grey area. I don't think their anti-cheat would do it. Number one. Number two, it's a very sticky situation, because I think when Call of Duty tried to do it, it didn't go down particularly well. But yeah, someone's actually trying to like find some other examples of naughty people. There's some naughty people out there for sure. And now on to Nightmare Raids. There was something that I did raise as like a talking point. Like there's several things. When Nightmare Raids was and the new changes to Alliance Raids was announced, I mentioned that your investment to 180 tickets to what is RNG that you get back from it will likely either feel like it's completely painful or completely fine. Now it's something I'm going to be expanding based on what my performance did on opening up Valiant chests, because when you've got people that have invested 180 tickets, they've invested their resource into this, their time, maybe even units, I don't know. It depends how Nightmare Raids went for other players, because it was frustrating because things didn't go in according to plan. The stuff with, unfortunate for me, I didn't push through. We had Jabari Panther. Did we have Jabari Panther first? Who did we have first? Was it Jabari Panther? I want to say it was, we had Jabari Panther first, and because we had Jabari Panther first in Alliance Raids, it was an okay start because that one wasn't coming in bugged. Yes, it was Jabari Panther. So when we had our first kind of like go through, we hit Jabari Panther, which was the only one that wasn't bugged or had a problem with it, or was over the top. There we go, that thing goes there. So anyway, you got the picture of what you saw right there for the moment in time before my thing stopped working, my cable started being a bit weird. Anyway, so by meeting that particular point, we didn't have a problem. Because we didn't have a problem, we were able to go through a lot more cleanly. Because we were able to go through cleanly, we got compensation, then was able to kind of push through on our particular pod that we went through on. Rewards wise, of course, differs from what is player to player, and the effort to what you got back from it may have been loss of units and may have been duff returns. Those duff returns you can see right there, 10 Valiant Crystals. Feels like a duff return on a high amount of investment of time, struggle, maybe units, and of course resource. I don't know, player to player, how you go. I mean, it's not that, is it? I'd love that. 1,500 units. I'd love to see the breakdown of percentage of drop rate for the 1,500 units, because that would be nice, wouldn't it? I personally haven't got it. Have you picked up 1,500 units? Put it in the comments. That'd be interesting to find out if anyone has or has not, because it is such a rare thing, rare commodity to pick up. But of course it's different, isn't it? It's different between player to player. What you like, what you feel is fair, what is not on it. Definitely like the struggles that have gone through with trying to get through Nightmare raids. Yes, it's meant to be difficult, but there's a difference between saying, hey, this is difficult and this is overtuned, not balanced correctly, or this is bugged and you're experiencing it. Not a good experience, is it? And I've definitely seen like the feedback from players on this. You know, here's a good example. Like only Jabari works, but defeating her, taking class tier 6 after spending resources on raid tickets is meh. Yes, the arguable sense is like, okay, well, were the rewards bugged? Technically, yes. If you've read the post, and of course we covered the post on the channel, the Kabam did, but it's still RNG, which feels crap, doesn't it? It does, as to what you actually get from it. The rewards are buffed, Valiant Crystals are still in the reward pool. Maybe they shouldn't be, especially because I'm actually really happy with all 3 chests. There was probably one not so super happy on, but I tell you what, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We'll talk about that in the video coming up, and you'll see that for yourself. I'd say for Nightmare raids, those Valiant Crystals at least could be Nexus. Yeah, if actually can't be increased, but to leave them same as normal raids rewards is a big miss. It's a fair point. Like, I don't think Valiant Nexuses are invented yet. Imagine if they were. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But at this moment in time, you know, that's Kabam to kind of like assess. I mean, they're giving out Paragon. What do we do Paragon Nexuses nowadays? Either way, just you're right. It would be nice to see that. But this is on Kabam to kind of like look at things, ask players first before putting stuff in. But that's not the case. It's always Kabam will put stuff in, and then we have to then go, this ain't right, and Kabam have to not argue with us, but then takes a while for them to see sense to go, that would be nice for players, but we don't want to give players that. But it would be nice, and then they eventually give it. Well, you hope they give it. Either way, how are you finding the Nightmare raids at the moment, and even the standard raids? Here's something right here. It's so fun to get past Ridiculous Korg on the right path just to get Weapon X and have the decks not trigger over and over again. I guess that's part of that. It's meant to be very difficult. Yes, it's difficult to get the game to function the way it's supposed to. It's the thing, isn't it? I mean, want to see. Just wait till you get to the Epoch boss, who has Crush you can't turn off, and also apparently works through champs that can block unblockable specials. Also, while he has the Crush, he is unstoppable on dashes, and of course he has his normal stun immune on hits. I'm not sure he thinks fights where you can only actually fight for 30 seconds and then have to dance around for 15 to 20 seconds is fun, but maybe stop letting them design fights. So not getting completely lost in the sauce when it comes to Nightmare raids and some other stuff. We'll probably be talking about that in a topic-based video either tomorrow or Sunday. I can't remember what my... I don't know what my schedule is going to be for content. There's some projects that I want to do video-wise and guides-wise, but yeah, it depends if I get enough time to do it. Anyway, as you know, Season 27 of Battlegrounds is a bit indifferent for players in what you like about it, what you don't. Of course, the main thing you don't like about it is the fact that there's no rewards buff. That's something that still needs to happen. The grindy nature of the Battlegrounds is another thing that needs to be dealt with. I don't know if Kabam will actually deal with that. And quality of life for players is important. Toyota said here, making time points worth more is only going to make people's evaluation of new champs even worse. There's already a lot of people who write off new attackers if they can't finish a Battlegrounds fight in under 30 seconds. Making time more important is only going to make people do that even more than they were before. If you haven't seen yesterday's video that I did about Season 27, you'll know that we raised points about on Wednesday, the issues about what players did in Season 9, why then Kabam went out of their way to change things. So, like here's actually the post, funny enough. We've noticed a large trend, time being the defining factor in top tier games, and as a result, defenders that extend the fight being consistently picked. We don't want to shift things too much and still want to be a source of points, but want the main focus to be winning the fight in the best possible conditions. Max fight duration points 15 to 10,000. Of course, that's been reverted. So we raised that point in the video the last video. Like, well, what's changed? Like, nothing feels like it's dramatically changed. Do you remember before it used to be Season 9 was you'd put Apocalypse, Nick Fury in defense just because their special duration for Apocalypse was so slow because he is just like buh, 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 flip, turn, splash, boom, back to it again. It's like the length of the special attack, if it's like 10 seconds plus, you're stalling your attacker, yourself attacking by 10 to 20 seconds. So if you're stalling though at that time, then you're prolonging the timer. If you're prolonging the timer, guess what? It's in the person playing the defender's betterment that they might win overall because of that particular, which is good strategy, by the way. We're not going to say that it's not shithousery, because it is shithousery, but it is good strategy to put as a defender. However, maybe Kabam is seeing things differently, like, oh, well, putting Nick Fury on defense isn't going to be so much of an issue. Putting, I don't know, a slow throwing special attack champion is not going to be a problem because then this is the counter to that. But I don't know. We just don't know this particular point. Mr. Sinister could be one of those particular options. Put it on defense. Okay, well, he regens back quite aggressively if you don't use certain champion. Well, the conditions could be that you're having to put a champion in attack that isn't going to be great because the defense is very much meta driven in being frustrating, and you need to have a specific counter, not the right counter, to suppress his healing. That's an example without going too much detail to it, but it's still, scary, isn't it? What is going to come around from this? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to piss players off? Is it going to make it more grindier and time consuming? Because believe it or not, people are getting a bit frustrated with how time consuming it is. And you have to ask the questions. I know some people like to go like, okay, why are people frustrated? And it's not like, as much as people want to say things like take away all the RNG elements, eliminate loading times, blah, 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 remove the decline button, remove the pause button, in order to speed up the process of kind of things like Battlegrounds, there's a lot more things to the game, isn't there, than meets the eye. But you always have to ask the question, like, for a player, you, me, like, why are you feeling the way you feel at the moment when it comes to the game, or why are you feeling towards the developer? And is it because things haven't been dealt with that you want to see, like bugs or kind of mode improvements or pace of mode improvements? Which, let's face it, Battlegrounds is a slow mode. It's like you don't get to do, if you have a bad run, you don't get to do much. I remember Killer Bee, we put it on the channel somewhere, I think one of the videos, Killer Bees, he said something like, I spent an hour and only did like one Battlegrounds fight or something. Or there was something to that particular effect. No, it's even worse. 1 hour, 30 minutes recording Battlegrounds and only got to play 4 matches, right? That is, that sticks with me. I don't know if it sticks with other people, and I think it should stick with Kabam. Like, the extent of time investment to return. Playing 4 Battlegrounds matches, depending on how they went, is not a good return on investment of time. Kabam don't like that word, time investment, but it is. It's really important because there's a difference between Kabam keeping players interested in the game because they look, there's other games out there that are not so grindy or a good and quality of life structure. And that's something just the mode needs looking at Battlegrounds, but the rewards for all the different modes, every mode should be under scrutiny. That's it. Every mode should be under scrutiny as what is the future with the game in these different areas, rewards for said modes. So yeah, again, same thing as we kind of like say every MCN, but there's of course a lot of you, the player base, talking about things that matter, and there's Kabam communicating what they plan to do on those particular matters that players are raising, because you play the game, you have a hands-on feel, look, interest and feedback, and it's just how Kabam plan to deal with that. That's the next steps, isn't it? Anyway, we'll see you in some other content. Thanks very much for watching. What are your thoughts on the current state of the game in different areas, especially the ones raised in Battlegrounds and in other places by you, the community? You know, you're saying all this stuff. It's not just me, it's everyone else, you know, talking in these particular threads. Anyway, check out some of the links in the description, and I'll see you all soon. Have a lovely day, and goodbye.